Morning, good morning. Hey, Instagram. Hey, Facebook and YouTube. If you are following me, let's talk about this first. We're going to talk about worried to surrendered. I think this is a big deal right now. It has been a big deal. It's just been really on my heart the last few days, even more so. So we're going to have a little chat about it. If you want to have a chat about it, let's have a chat about it. If you are following me on YouTube, please hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified. That way you won't miss any of these little chats and you can interact with me. I love to have interactions. I am not all about talking at people. So I want to talk with you if you want to have a chat. If not, no big deal. If you just want to listen in and you want to be an observer, I am also one of those kinds of people. In fact, I'm so much one of those kinds of people, I realized that for many, many years, I just didn't even interact with the posts from my friends on Facebook and stuff. I literally just observed their lives, which I really enjoy. But they didn't know that I was enjoying, and they didn't know that I enjoy them. So anyways, it's very important to have community and to have conversations, and definitely if you need help to reach out. Okay. So what we're talking about today is, hey, love children, I see you joined on Instagram. Nice to see you there. What we're talking about today is worried to surrendered. And if you've been following me for a while, I'm always going to take this to the biblical standpoint, because this is about us as believers. And even if you are an unbeliever and you need some help being anchored and grounded, you might find your way to Jesus through these conversations. And that would be my hope for you, that you would see that he is the way, the truth, and the life, and that he will be the anchor for you. But it's your choice. It's always your choice, okay? What I love about God, one of the things I love about God, is that his character is not to lord over us his authority. He doesn't force his love on us. He doesn't force us into relationship with him. We have to actually choose that. Sometimes I think that that's totally escapes our understanding and our thoughts, that we actually have to pursue him as well. God is actively pursuing us, meaning that he's always present and always available, and he's always reaching out to us through things like this. You might happen upon this channel and hear the word of the Lord and realize that God is reaching in and reaching out for your heart. And I am a firm believer that usually I am not presenting some new concept to somebody. I'm usually presenting a truth that they've already discovered between them and the Lord themselves, but they may not have put their finger on it yet. Okay. So worried to surrendered. I just want to talk about the fact that in today's world, we have a lot of reasons to get anxious, and it's just mounting anxiety. I just think there's so much increase and growth in anxiety right now. So many people that I've talked to personally, that I know personally in my life, have had such an increase of physical manifestation of anxiety and worry and concern. And it's not, there is good reason for it. Okay. There's a lot going on. It can be super confusing, and it's a lot of noise and a lot of information. I would encourage you that if this is how you're feeling, and you're feeling super concerned and worried, and you don't know what the answers are, guess what? It's rare that anyone knows all the answers. We need to be working together, not working against one another. That's my first thing. But secondly, if you are feeling anxious and worried, then I would encourage you to get into a quiet place that you could shut out all the other noise, and that you could actually hear yourself thinking, hear the posture of your heart, allow yourself the room to work through your emotions and your feelings and let them come out. A safe place for you to do that, in a quiet zone or whatever, if you can. Sometimes for me, that means my car when I'm driving. I miss those times when I had no children, because right now it's like, you, as a mom, a lot of times you don't get any real space. where it feels like you can just let yourself process what has been going on in your heart and your mind. But we really need that. So shut yourself in the bathroom, turn on some music or whatever, worship music. I would suggest following ihopkc.org, and there is a 24/7 prayer room that is based and founded in the Word. So you can make agreement with it because of that. So that's my first thing, is get into a quiet zone where you can actually hear your own thoughts and hear your own heart and start to acknowledge where you're at and what's going on. And then I would encourage you to pour that out to the Lord. Okay. It's okay if it's ugly. God is not afraid of our emotions. He's not afraid of our reactions. Okay. A lot of us are living in a reactive state of being. We're not living in a responsive state of being. Okay. Because there's so much pressure going on, and we have not been rooted and grounded in relationship with Jesus. Maybe we're just coming back to it. And I'm going to tell you, I'm guilty of not cultivating my relationship with Jesus like would be best for me when I was living in the crisis of or the what I would call the crisis zone of newborn life, right? When my kids were really small. And only in the last 3.5 years have I been able to interact with God on that level again, where I'm able to hear what he's saying, because I'm able to get quiet enough to actually hear him and to hear where I'm at and to acknowledge where I'm at and hand that over to him. Sometimes that looks like an outward expression. I might start wailing, even crying, uncontrollable. That's okay. Don't be afraid of your emotions. God is not afraid of your emotions. In fact, God created you to have emotions. Okay. The reason I'm saying that is because it can feel like when we're saying don't let your emotions lead you, and don't let your emotions be, don't live by your emotions only, because your emotions can be like this, okay? They can get a little bit crazy, right? But God has created us with emotions for a reason. And part of that reason is connection with him on a level that is next level. I mean, emotional connection is just so deep and so fulfilling, okay? So I just want to say that emotions are not bad. They were created by God, like everything else that is created by God that has been twisted or used against you, used against life, and used in ways that it was not meant to be used. Okay. So going from worry to surrender, the first thing we've talked about is get quiet. Get quiet and give access. Okay. So get quiet before the Lord, sit in a place where you can open yourself up and give access to the Lord and actually acknowledge where you're at. And then in order to surrender that stuff, you have to be willing to hear what God is going to say to you about it. Okay. That can be hard, to be open to what God will say to you about it. Now, if you are not sure that you're going to hear from the Lord, I want to help you to understand that it's not hard for God to connect to you. Okay. He's already connected to you. So when you say yes to him and you put on your listening ears and your willingness to hear what he has to say, he's going to make it clear. He's going to be able to speak to you. It's not like there's no way that he doesn't know your language. Okay. That he doesn't know how to reach out to you. A lot of times I think, number one, if it's something that is positive, okay, even though it feels like a spank, okay, it's positive. You can't go wrong with it. Like God is saying, you need to be kind. You're not being kind to yourself. You need to be kind to yourself. You need to be loving to yourself. These are things that I probably wouldn't say to myself just in my natural being. I wouldn't think about how I'm not treating myself well. You know what I mean? I would, naturally go the route of needing to be disciplined in a like, okay, you're just doing wrong things. And I would just focus on the wrong side of things. But how God does when he's chatting with us, a lot of times it is so much kinder, so much more loving than what we would say to ourselves that it's easy to recognize, right? Okay, so surrender just means that you're actually able to, this is a phase of surrender that you just are able to hear what God is saying so you can be led by him out of that place of worry and into that place of trust. And that place, worry has to do with our belief system. It has to do with what we're putting our trust in. So when you realize that you're worried and concerned, it is a signpost of what you're putting your trust in. So when you get quiet and you acknowledge where you're at and you see what you're worried about, what is it that I'm worried about? Why am I worried about that? And you give it over to the Lord, then you're able to say, he's trustworthy to take all of my cares. He's trustworthy to hand over all of my cares to him because he cares for me, because he loves me and his intentions towards me are good. So we kind of have to take ourselves through that process sometimes. I mean, for me, I'm 44 and I've been saved since I was about 4 or 5. And I have never had to not do this, okay? I have to coach myself, basically. Coach yourself through this process and do what's healthy and right for you. Don't sit there in your worry and your concern and allow it to rip you apart, okay? Here's a scripture verse that might help you as well. Philippians 4:6. Who of you by worrying can add a single hour to your life? Okay, what good does worrying do? I know we probably all know this verse, and it's like, sometimes some of the verses make me feel like it's heavy, and I just want to dismantle that heaviness right now. It's not heavy, it's just giving you perspective, okay? So that we can actually look at it with proper understanding that, even though this feels like something I should worry about and that it's right for me to worry about, and maybe I have a real good reason to be worried, worrying does not give life. So if you want to be giving yourself life and giving life to others around you, worry is not part of that equation. Be anxious for nothing, but in everything, by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. 1 Peter 5:7. So this is how we surrender it. Okay. We surrender worry by taking anything that we're concerned about, we're worried about, we are anxious about. We bring it to God in prayer and petition. Okay. With thanksgiving. Okay, so that's another way. And then here's another thing to consider. Ephesians 4:14. Then we will no longer be infants tossed about by the waves and carried around by every wind of teaching and by the clever cunning of men in their deceitful scheming. Okay, something that I have some struggle with is worrying about whether what I'm hearing from trusted teachers and like people that I look up to, okay, that maybe my thoughts and my thinking and my feelings are off. Now, self-evaluation and being curious about whether that might be true or not is okay. You need to do your due diligence and take it before the Lord. Test everything that's being said. Test it. How? By taking it to the Lord in prayer and by reading the word to line it up and asking the Lord to give us an ability to see clearly and hear clearly and to align with what's true and toss out the rest. Okay. So that's just my little tips and tricks about moving from worried to surrendered. And if you guys have any questions or concerns or thoughts about that, you need prayer over that, go ahead and reach out to me somehow on whichever platform you're on, DM me or comment on these videos. I want to invite you, if you are feeling the nudge and you're feeling the desire to go deeper in the Lord and to build more relationship with Jesus, but it's really hard for you to just show up every day and have that time. I have been doing a challenge in my group on Facebook, and it's called Daily 10 in the Word. Daily 10 in the Word. And there are a lot of 10-minute videos of reading in the Word. And we've done Psalms, Proverbs, and the entire New Testament. We're in the book of Revelation right now. So every day right now, I'm reading out of the book of Revelation. And then once that's done, we're going to start a new challenge in there. But please feel free to click the link that's in my description for that group if you are interested in doing that. I know that it can be difficult, and that the statistics are is most of us haven't actually read our Bible that are believers, and it is great to get saved. Everyone who believes in Jesus as the Son of God and declares that and proclaims that are saved by grace, okay? But we want to work out our salvation in fear and trembling. So we want to go further and deeper, and we want to hear what God is saying in this time, and we want to know what he's asking of us, okay? That group is working through godliness, wealth, and wisdom. Those are the three pillars that I am going to be structuring that group around. And I also have a website that has some free resources. So anyways, reach out if you would like to go deeper in the word and getting to know Jesus. Okay. Have a wonderful day today. It's Thursday. Friday is tomorrow. The weekend is coming. May the Lord bless you, keep you, make his face shine on you, give you peace today. And may you have grace poured upon your lips for the conversations you have inside. Bye, guys.